Last time on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Well, safe to say I think I got screwed. Not a question. But, you know what? We still won over $500,000. Let's see if we can win more tonight on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Thursday night at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yeah, well, tonight is Game 6 of the NBA Finals, so that'll be some very exciting stuff. Hopefully, will OKC finish it all tonight, or will Indiana force a Game 7 on Sunday night? That we will see. Later on here tonight. So, yeah, in about an hour from now. So, yeah. But yeah, yesterday was kind of interesting. That's all I'm going to say because, gosh, we lost a whole lot of money on the America's Cup question. But what can I say? You know, I thought it was a racehorsing thing, I thought it was the Kentucky Derby, but because I didn't know what the America's Cup was, really, to be honest. But now I know, and like I said, I think I got scammed on that. But you know what? I'm not going to hold that against anything or anybody, so we're just going to get going here with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We are just 15 questions away from winning $1 million in cash. We have 4 lifelines 50-50. Ask the audience, we can phone a friend, and we can switch the question. If you want to play along with us at home, log on to rvn.com. Go to the Game Shows tab, scroll down to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, click on that, and it'll show you everything you need to know. So, I'm ready to play. Audience, are we ready to play? Yeah. Then let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Here we go now for $100. Which of these is a breed of dog? French farmer, German shepherd, Swiss salesman, Greek grocer. It's got to be the German shepherd. Final answer. And we got it for 100. Here we go now for 200. What is the name of the treatment that uses essential oils of plants? Smellotherapy, aromatherapy, withotherapy, or odor therapy? There we go. That is aromatherapy. Final answer. And we got it for 200. Here we go now for 300. Which of these is an American amphitheater? Hollywood spoon, Hollywood dish, Hollywood saucer, Hollywood bowl. That is Hollywood bowl. Final answer. And we got it for 300. Here we go now in 500. Which of these is the act or ceremony of crowning a monarch? Carnation, correlation, coronation, constellation. That is coronation. Final answer. And we got it right for 500. Here we go now for 1,000. What was the nickname of gangster Al Capone? Scarface, Babyface, Pretty Boy, Lucky. That is Scarface. Final answer. And we got it for $1,000. Sorry for the ad. There we go. This is for $2,000. We're doing good. Bolivia is a country in which continent? South America, Africa, Asia, Europe. That is South America. Final answer. And we got it for $2,000. There we go. This is for $4,000. Which of these patterns would you most expect on plaid material? There we go. Paisley, polka dots, flowers, tartan. What design would you expect on plaid material? Tartan, there you go. I don't know what tartan is, but final answer. Got it for $4,000. Something else I forgot to mention, we can use, like on the celebrity shows, how the celebrities would cheat up to $32,000. We can do that with Google. So here it is for $8,000. With which genre of fiction is the author Zane Grey chiefly associated? Science fiction, westerns, detective stories, horror stories. Well, let's look it up. Zane Grey. No, not him. Zane Grey. I have no idea who he is. American author and dentist. Okay. Well, westerns. Westerns, final answer. Got it for $8,000. Here we go. This is for $16,000. What was the name of Tarzan's chimpanzee? Thetis, Cheetah, Janar, Zira. Tarzan's chimpanzee. Cheetah, final answer. Got it for $16,000. There we go. This is for $32,000. What type of creature is a marmot? Bird, snake, fish, rodent. Marmot. Marmot. Squirrel. There you go. Final answer. Oh, rodent, I guess we'll have to put it. Either way. Got it for $32,000. Hang on, we got an Old Spice ad, not a sponsor. Hang on, sorry. There we go. Here we go. 5 questions away from $1 million. We can only use Googler one time out. So here it is for $64,000. Orvieto wine comes from which country? France, Spain, Germany, Italy. Well, I'm going to use the 50-50 here. Okay, computer, please take away 2 in the wrong answers, leaving us with just 1 wrong answer and the correct one. Of course, it was going to take away the 2, which I had narrowed down to. Although Orvieto, that's more Spanish than Italian, I think. We'll risk it and go with Spain. Final answer. Oh, see, of course. Of course it would be Italy. And of course the 50-50 would have to screw me over, too. I mean, that's just... my God. Well, we will continue on. Excuse me, gosh, I got the yawns. All of a sudden I start filming and then I get the yawns. Which of these is what water turns into when it freezes? Brick, concrete, ice, wood. That is ice. Final answer. And we got it for 100. Here we go now for 200. Which of these film creatures is an ape? Godzilla, Dumbo, King Kong, Rin Tin Tin. That is King Kong. Final answer. We got it for 200. Here we go now for 300. What is a woman said to do with her eyelashes when she is being flirtatious? Glitter, clatter, flutter, rotter. That is flutter. Final answer. And we got it. Whoops, for 300. Go now for 500. Which of these phrases might describe an act of revenge? Bit for bat, tit for tat, tit for cat, spit for spat. That is tit for tat. Final answer. And we got it for 500. Here we go now for 1,000. Which of these is measured in kilograms? Length, mass, time, temperature. That is mass. Final answer. And we got it for $1,000. Sorry, we got a Puffs ad here. Not a sponsor. Here we go. Here it is for $2,000. Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters was previously the drummer in which band? Metallica, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Aerosmith. Who was Dave Grohl a drummer for? Nirvana, really? So that's him playing the drums and Smells Like Teen Spirit? Okay. I like it. Nirvana, final answer. Got it for $2,000. When we come back, we're going to go for $4,000. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Well, let's continue on here with this game. Right now, we're 9 questions away from winning $1 million in cash. So, without further ado, let's do this. We're going for $4,000. Let's play. Hang on. After this, from Charmin. There we go. This is for $4,000. What is the Italian name for the city of Naples? Napa, Napoli, Napolino, Napoleta. That is Napoli. Final answer. Got it for $4,000. There we go. This is for $8,000. What would a French administrative assistant call a paperclip? Clarinet, trumpet, bugle, trombone. I think it's bugle, but let me check here. French word for paperclip. Trombone, okay. Looks like one sometimes. A trombone, final answer. Got it for $8,000. Don't you think that sounds interesting? I mean, come on. What is an alpenhorn? Wind instrument. Mountain goat. Alpine plant. Mountain peak. I don't know. Alpenhorn. A wind instrument. Final answer. Got it for $16,000. There we go. This is for $32,000. Which of these signs of the zodiac is not an earth sign? Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio. What sign of the zodiac is not an earth sign? So, Aquarius, Scorpio. That was a choice. So, Scorpio, final answer. Got it for $32,000. Another Old Spice ad. That's just freaking lovely. There we go. Nope, we got to do it again. Here we go. 5 questions away from $1 million. The Googler goes away. Here it is for 64,000. Which of these is true of the stones we use in the sport of curling? Concave on the bottom, weigh 160 pounds each, coated with oil to improve, have rubberized edges. Well, I know they're pretty heavy. I don't know if they're quite 160 pounds heavy, though. Concave on the... I don't even know what that would mean. Coated with oil to improve. Well, they do a good job of hiding it if that's the case. We're going to ask the audience here. Okay, audience, we need your help. On your keypads using A, B, C, or D, vote now. So 42% said concave on the bottom. 28% said 160 pounds each. I'm going to go with the majority of the audience, and we're going to say concave on the bottom, final answer. Got it for $64,000. We're cruising right along here. Here it is, 125,000. What type of food is Italian panettone? Panettone, probably. Olive bread, yeast cake, flavored ham, colored pasta. I'm going to use the 50-50 here. Okay, computer, please take away 2 of the wrong answers, leaving us with just 1 wrong answer and the correct one. Yeast cake, colored pasta. Well, the tone at the end makes me think it's pasta, but I know pan, that's like some sort of dessert, I think. Although you don't really hear cakes. Like there's fettuccine, linguine. Yeah, that just sounds more like a pasta to me. Plus tone, so like a color might represent a tone. So that would make sense. I'm going to say colored pasta, final answer.
Get the QuickBooks mobile app.
No, it was a yeast cake. But technically, aren't all cakes made with yeast that makes the bread rise? I mean, come on. Of course, we get screwed by the 50-50 again. God forbid. All right, we'll do it again. Let's play. We're going to get further this time. Which of these is another term for a know-it-all? Clever slacks, woody knickers, smarty pants, brainy briefs. I'm going to say smarty pants. Final answer. And we're right for 100. Here we go now for 200. Which ship carried the pilgrims from England to North America? Cornflower, sunflower, Mayflower, wallflower. That is the Mayflower. Final answer. And we got it for another $100 for 200 total. For 300, which of these U.S. states has no Pacific coastline? California, Hawaii, Oregon, Nevada. That is Nevada. Final answer. And we got it for 300. Here we go now for 500. Orlando is the seat of which Florida county? Orange County, Lemon County, Lime County, Grapefruit County. What county is Orlando in? It's in Orange County. Okay. Final answer. We got it for 500. Here we go now for 1,000. Which of these words comes first in a dictionary? Door, doom, dozen, doodle. Doodle, final answer. And we got it for $1,000. You had to look at him for a second. We're going to take a break. We're going to go for, well, $2,000 after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Millionaire. Well, we're going to continue on here. We're going to go for $2,000, and we're going to do it right now. Let's play Millionaire. Here we go for $2,000. What Italian pasta dish is the favorite food of the comic strip cat Garfield? Spaghetti, lasagna, fettuccine, ravioli. What is Garfield's favorite food? Lasagna. Final answer. Got it for $2,000. This is for $4,000. By what name is the DJ Norman Cook better known? Short Boy Tall, Fat Boy Slim, Tall Boy Short, Slim Boy Fat. Well, it's Fat Boy Slim. Final answer. Make that nice and easy for me. We got it for $4,000. This is for $8,000. What country is associated with castanets? Spain, France, Australia, China. Castanets. Used in Spanish. Well, in Spain, final answer. Well, there we go. We got it for $8,000. There we go. This is for $16,000. What article of clothing is named after a city in India? Boat ice, pajamas, culottes, jodhpurs. I gotta say pajamas. Final answer. What are jodhpurs? Okay, I'm refusing to believe that some of these answers we've seen tonight and the last couple of nights aren't the right answers. Because there's no way that jodhpurs exist. There's no way. They don't. They just don't. Well, let's continue playing then. Let's start off with a brand new game. Start off fresh. Which of these is a type of dancing? Squiggle dancing, dot dancing, stripe dancing, line dancing. That is line dancing. Final answer. And we got it for 100. Here we go now for 200. Which type of musical instrument is a ukulele? Percussion, brass, woodwind, string. That is string. Final answer. And we got it for 200. Here we go now for 300. Which of these is given to a pre-recorded laugh track sometimes added to TV shows? Canned laughter, bottled laughter, cured laughter, begged laughter. That is canned laughter. Final answer. And we got it for 300. Here we go now for 500. The Catholic nun born of Albanian parents and known for her work with Calcutta's poor was Mother who? Isabella, Maria, Sophia, Teresa. That is Teresa. Final answer. And we got it for 500. Here we go now for 1,000. Which of these musicians was a member of the Beatles? Elton John, Eric Clapton, George Harrison, Jimmy Page. That is George Harrison. Final answer. And we got it for $1,000. Da-da-da-da-do. Here we go. Now for $2,000. Noel and Liam are the names of the two brothers who fronted which pop group? Blur, REM, Oasis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. That is Oasis. Final answer. Got it for $2,000. This is for $4,000. How many cards are dealt to each player in a regular game of Texas Hold'em poker? 2, 3, 4, 5. How many cards are dealt out in Texas Hold'em? 2 cards. Final answer. Got it for $8,000. Or $4,000, sorry. There we go. This is for $8,000. Actor Tony Shalhoub is known for portraying a TV character named Adrian what? Abbott, Friar, Monk, Priest. Okay, I think I know it. Let me just make sure. Adrian Monk. Yes, that's what I thought. Adrian Monk, final answer. Got it for $8,000. This is for $16,000. Which of these women is most associated with the 100 Years' War? Dolly Madison, Joan of Arc, Florence Nightingale, Cleopatra. I don't know. What woman is most associated with the 100 Years' War? Joan of Arc. Okay. Siege of Orleans. There we go. Well, we'll say Joan of Arc. Final answer. This is where we crashed out the last game. Got it for $16,000. We're going to take a break and we're going to go for $32,000 in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Please, por favor. Welcome back, everybody. Well, let's continue on here. We're 6 questions away from winning $1 million in cash. We're going for $32,000. If we get this one right, then we won't go home with anything less than that. So here it is, $32,000. Let's play. It's for $32,000. Which country's first national park opened in the fall of 2012? Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Turkey. What country opened up its first national park in the fall of 2012? Oh, great. So this question scammed me. Oh, this is just lovely. Oh, Republic of the Congo? No, that's not right. Well, we're just going to have to do that. All right, Afghanistan. Although that does kind of make sense. Final answer. Got it for $32,000. Here we go. We're doing well so far. $64,000 coming up. In which country was the actor Pierce Brosnan born? The United States, Australia, the United Kingdom, Ireland. I'm going to use the 50-50 here. Okay, computer, please take away 2 of the wrong answers, leaving us with just 1 wrong answer and the correct one. Okay. Ireland, final answer. Got it for $64,000. I knew he wasn't born in the U.S., so I was hoping that one would stick. Hang on. Ah, crap. Of course. There we go. For $125,000. What type of food? Oh, we had this one. Olive bread, yeast cake, flavored ham, colored pasta. We won't make this mistake again. Yeast cake, final answer. And we got it for $125,000. There we go. 3 away from $1 million. We're cruising right along here. Which golfer won the 2003 Masters tournament? Phil Mickelson, Jordan Spieth, Mike Weir, Tiger Woods. Well, I've got it narrowed down to 2. I think it's quite obvious the 2 I have it narrowed down to. Well, I know it's a high value question for the audience, but I have trust in them. We're going to ask the audience here. Okay, audience, we need your help. On your keypads using A, B, C, or D, vote now. Okay, well, 37% said Mike Weir, 29% said Phil Mickelson. I thought it was going to be either Mickelson or Woods, which is why I didn't say anything. But the audience are usually right. I'm going to go with Mike Weir, final answer. Got it for $250,000. Here we go. 2 lifelines left. We're going for $500,000. What Roman historian provided an eyewitness account of the Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD? Tacitus, Pliny the Younger, Suetonius, Cassius Dio. You know what? I have a strategy here, and we're going to do it. We would normally go with Googler, but we're going to switch the question, actually. Okay. So let's see what the answer was. Who provided an historical account of the Vesuvius eruption? Oh, Pliny. Pliny the Younger. Okay. Computer, can we please have another question valued at $500,000? Which African country is home to the Rif people? Ghana, Botswana, Chad, Morocco. Well, it's not Morocco, because that's in Europe. I kind of wish I had saved the 50-50 for now, if I'm being honest with you. That's all right. We'll just use Googler here. What country is home to the Rif people? Home to the Riff. There, my God. Oh, Morocco is in Africa? Okay. Morocco, final answer.
Send professional invoices.
Got it for $500,000.
Easily create and send.
Boy, oh boy. I did not think Morocco was in Africa. I thought it was in Europe. Well, you learn something new every day, that's for sure. We're going to come back and we're going to play for $1 million in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Boy, oh boy, here we go. We played a terrific game so far. Absolutely wonderful. But here we go. We're down to our final question. Here we go. Well, you've got $500,000. We're one question away from $1 million. If we get this wrong, we'll lose $468,000. But here it is for $1 million. Let's play. For $1 million. What type of instrument was the medieval gittern? Harp, trumpet, flute, guitar. Well, one of those popped out at me, but I've really got no clue. And it would be a lot to risk on a guess. So I think I'm going to walk away with the $500,000. Final answer. Woo! Okay. So, had we had gone for it, I would have said trumpet. Oh, it was guitar. Thank God we walked away. Woo! My goodness. Okay, well, let's start off fresh. We're almost out of time, so we got about 4 minutes left. So let's do this. Let's win some money. Here we go. What name is given to a portable two-way radio? Sneaky Speaky, Smally Collie, Out and Abouty Shouty, Walkie Talkie. That is a walkie talkie. Final answer. And we got it right for $100. Here we go now for 200. Where would you most likely to find? Where would you most likely be most likely to find AstroTurf? There we go. Road surfaces, frying pans, sports fields, satellite dishes. That is sports fields. Final answer. And we got it for 200. Here we go now for 300. Which of these is an American amphitheater? Hollywood spoon, Hollywood dish, Hollywood saucer, Hollywood bowl. That is Hollywood bowl. Final answer. And we got it for 300. Here we go now for 500. Which battle provided ABBA with the title of their Eurovision Song Contest winner in 1974? Trafalgar, Waterloo, Gettysburg, Little Bighorn. That is Waterloo. Final answer. And we got it for 500. Here we go now for 1,000. The Roman Emperor Commodus was a character in which of these Oscar-winning films? Braveheart, Argo, Gladiator, Unforgiven. Which movie is Commodus in? Which movie is Commodus in? Gladiator, final answer. And we got it for $1,000.
Get the quickest.
Brump.
Simply
There we
scan
go.
rules of receipts. Tab.
There we go now. We're going for $2,000. Zen is a form of which religion? Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism, Islam. I don't know. What form of religion is Zen? No, not sun. Zen. Oh, Buddhist. Well, there you go. That helps. Final answer. Sorry. We got it for 2,000. It's for $4,000. Jean-Paul Sartre was a famous French what? Poet, painter, photographer, philosopher. So Jean-Paul Sartre. Jean-Paul Sartre. Philosopher and playwright. Well, that's one of the options. Philosopher, final answer. Got it for $4,000. Okay, that sound means that we are out of time for tonight, but we will be back here on a special night, Saturday night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on RVN. In fact, no, sorry. It'll be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you join us for that, but boy, oh boy, tonight we definitely redeemed ourselves after the one question, or after a couple of those games where we lost a whole lot of money, because we won tonight a grand total of $565,000. So yeah, boy, I think that was our second $500,000 win of the week. Yeah, so $1,098,000 we won. Sorry, 190 or one. You know how much we won this week. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by a little voicemail I got. $1,098,000 we won this week so far. Grand total of $3,548,000. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.